Every single time Vosteed has released a Vancor lock knife in the recent history, it's always been either micarta and a premium steel or aluminum and a premium steel. And I've asked every single time, please, can we get a premium version? And for a while, I started to believe that maybe it just wasn't going to happen. And then it did. Because in my hands today, I've got a brand new knife from Vosteed, and it checks a lot of boxes that we've been waiting for. Let's go ahead and talk about the new Vancor lock Raccoon. I frequently find myself seeking the answer to the simple question of what makes a knife good. Is it the materials, the value, the craftsmanship, maybe the country of origin? Does a good knife have a soul? And if it does, how can you tell? Is it subjective or is it objective? The rabbit hole created by this simple question is one that I've dipped into many times, and I often come out on the other side with only more questions that need to be answered. How's it going, everybody? If you're new here, welcome in. And if you've been here before, smash the like button on the way in. I'm Rollshambo, the connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. And today I'm excited because we're a month later. We got this knife a month ago, and we're finally talking about what I believe could be the hands down best Vosteed to date. And that means a lot because Vosteed has hit the ground running. This is their 3rd anniversary edition, exclusive limited edition release. It's the Vosteed Raccoon V, and I'm super excited to talk about it today. But before I do, I want to say thank you, not to Vosteed because I bought this knife, but I bought this knife for my birthday with some help from the channel members and from the viewers on my live streams. There's so many donations of people supporting me on my birthday and wanting me to go ahead and get a cool knife. Well, this is what I got, and it would not have been possible without the channel members and the audience members and the subscribers, and yes, even the haters. So we're gonna go ahead and do a quick unboxing. I already took it out of the the regular sleeve, but it's still in the orange case. So let's go ahead and see. If you pick one of these up, this is what you'll get. On the inside, and by the way, I love these cases that Vosteed does. On the inside, we've got a couple things here. Obviously, we have the knife, but you will also get a commemorative 3rd anniversary Vosteed coin. Now, I'm not big on collecting the coins, but this is a collector's edition knife. The other thing you're going to get is some candy. Just kidding. Don't eat this. But something that I absolutely love is this, a certificate of authenticity. Listen, oftentimes I feel like some knives have soul and some knives just feel soulless. This is one of those things that helps a knife feel like it has a bit of identity. And you can tell because aside from just saying, oh, it's a Raccoon with M390 and titanium, the Vancor lock, it also has a serial number. And this serial number is actually raised. That serial number is kind of like embossed onto the card. Yeah, that's super cool. Vosteed, more of this, please. More of this. The most important part, without a shadow of a doubt, is what you came for. This is the Vosteed Raccoon V. Oh man, I really like this one. I really like it. Listen, I have carried this knife a decent amount in the last month, and I can tell you that it is really good. The Vosteed Raccoon is not a new design, but this is the first time that they've done it like this. Every single time I have reviewed either a Raccoon or a Vancor lock knife from Vosteed, somewhere in that video I will mention at some point that I wish they made a premium version of either the Raccoon or of a Vancor lock knife in, say, like titanium. And if I feel like they listened, because here it is, and oh man, they did such a good job. Now, if you're looking at the remaining options on these, currently at the time of recording this video, Blade HQ has 2 options. They've got one that looks like this, although it's blue handle scales with a gray button, or you can get it in the gray with the fluted milling or the fine milling lines, if that's your style. This one is really cool because this one has actually got a stone wash finish. To get down to brass tacks, what is it? What's it made out of? How much does it cost? These are important things, and this one is actually very impressive, despite the fact that they used M390, which, by the way, they have estimated at a 62 Rockwell plus or minus 1. That means that their range on the Raccoon V is going to be between 61 and 63. That's what the plus or minus means. That's really cool. That means that some people might actually have one at 63 Rockwell, which we don't see very often on M390. The overall length on this guy is going to be coming in at 7.5 inches, which I think is perfect. It's so frequent that I'll do a video review on a Vosteed knife and people will say something like, oh, I just wish that it was bigger. Listen, 7.5 inches is more than enough to get the job done. If you need more than a 7.5 inch pocket knife, then I don't know what to tell you, but this is not going to be one of those knives that you feel like is too small. The handle scales on here have this beautiful diamond textured milling, T8 hardware all the way around except for on the pivot. Now the pivot on here is kind of, I call it their smiley face pivot because it kind of looks like a smiley face. Those are T6 screws on that pivot. I don't know why. I think that there's some kind of logistics thing involved with, like, they can't thread bigger screws. I'm not entirely sure. But I will say this, if you get a Vancore lock or any Vancore lock and it sounds like a zipper, chances are the pivot is too tight. Instead of trying to wear that in, go ahead and just ever so slightly loosen both of these screws a little bit at a time. You'll know if it's over tight, because if your Vancore lock knife doesn't bounce when you hold the pivot down, it's probably too tight. It shouldn't sound like a zipper. This also features a 3D milled titanium pocket clip, 3D milled titanium backspacer, and on top of that, the pocket clip itself is reversible. It has this little filler tab right there, so if you are a lefty, you can of course switch that pocket clip to the other side. And the deployment options on here are classic Raccoon deployment options. These are oversized barrel thumb studs that work really, really well. It also features a front flipper. This is a Udong, or also known as Dr. EDC. And Dr. EDC is known for making some of the most fidget-friendly knives out there, by consequence of making knives that are just really fun to carry. This is a drop point design, and it is very well done. We've got the jimping done right here near the back for the front flipper, and then also right here. And it's kind of an interesting way that they did that jimping right there, because we have almost a swedge and the jimp. I don't know what to say. All I know is that you have the grip where you need it. Is it the deepest, toothiest jimping ever? No, but it honestly, it really doesn't need to be. The front flipper is nice and snappy, and the ergos feel phenomenal. The Vosteed Raccoon is one of those knives that people absolutely love every iteration of. Every iteration of the Raccoon has been popular ever since its initial inception as a plunge button lock design, and this one is no different. That sounds great, you say, but how much does it cost? If I go to shell out my hard-earned dollars, how much do I need to pay the piper? It is $250. This is a limited edition knife. They made 250 of each variant of this knife. And not only that, but each one has an individual serial number. I'll see if I can get that to focus in on the camera. It's printed right there. This one, of course, is number 180. It's on the blade. It's also on the certificate of authenticity. And if you take this knife apart, you'll also see that on the liner, which is part of the Vancore lock on the inside, it will say 3rd anniversary and have a cool Raccoon logo. This is fantastic, guys. The Raccoon is a really, really good knife to begin with in all of its variants, whether you get the crossbar, whether you get the top liner lock, whether you get the plunge lock. They're all really good, but this kind of feels like it takes the cake, and it has all of the things you look for in a premium knife at $250. I feel like this is a really, really great value. And honestly, I spent the last month trying to figure out, is there anything on here that I don't like? The answer to that question is not really. Like if I had to nitpick something, it'd be like, yeah, give me T8 screws on that smiley face pivot and we'll call it good. But even that's kind of really a non-factor. This knife is not hard to take apart. It's not hard to put back together. It has good action if you tune the pivot. By the way, I didn't really have to on this one. It arrived and the pivot was perfectly tuned. The thumb studs are not like the traditional thumb studs, but they're oversized to the point where it's really, really easy to deploy. It's fidgety and it's got great cutting geometry as well. I went through some cardboard with this knife and I got to tell you that it cuts really, really well with the factory edge on this flat ground stone washed blade. Now, one of the reasons why I absolutely had to get a stone washed variant is because the detent ball is always making contact with the tang of the blade. And this stone wash is kind of a semi-polished stone wash. I don't know if I can show that accurately. It has a very faint reflective property to it, but that also means that right out of the gates there is no break-in period because it's on a semi-polished blade. That detent ball, which is always making contact with the tang of the blade, is just going to have a much smoother time all together. Will Vosteed come out with another variant of the Raccoon V? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they did a regular version in aluminum, an M390, but I highly doubt that they're going to come out with another titanium version of these, or if they do, they will be some way, somehow different than the ones that we have for the anniversary edition. If you're not someone that typically likes Vosteed designs, or maybe you're just not a big fan of the Raccoon in general, then sure, maybe this isn't for you. But I think for most people, this is going to get the job done, and it's going to be a knife that they truly enjoy putting in their pocket at the end of the day. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned something important. I mentioned sole. And while so many knives made in China lack this, a lot of knives made in China feel soulless, like they just are one of 5 million made on an assembly line by people who don't care or don't have the skill. This is not one of them. This is a perfectly executed iteration of the Raccoon V, and I've got to say, it's worth every penny. 250 bucks. Are you going to pick one of these up, or is it going to be a pass for you? Let's have that conversation in the comment section down below, guys. And of course, if you want to watch some more awesome knife and EDC content, go ahead and click on one of the videos that pops up next.